Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Hey gang, before we hop into this, I just want to let you know that we'll be streaming Secrets of Strixhaven Commander decks tonight on YouTube. The stream will start around 6:30 PM Eastern Standard Time and probably go until about 9:30. Additionally, I'm running a giveaway with 401 Games. If you're a Canadian resident and looking to get the most bang for your buck, if you buy list an order of at least $25, you'll be entered with a chance to win your choice of one Commander Precon deck from Secrets of Strixhaven. Winner is picked May 11th, and I'll announce it on the channel in the following video. Sammy wins the die roll and starts us off. He draws, playing a forest, and casting the fabled turn 1 Sol Ring. Max draws and also plays a forest, but just passes. Mathieu's got an island, and ships it. Arja drops an exotic orchard, passing after that. Sammy plays a woodland cemetery, and he casts Muddstah. He ships it once it resolves. Max's land drop is a Willow Rush Verge, and he pays 2 for a Rampant Growth, going to find a basic. Mathieu just plays a command tower. Arja draws and plays a tapped Orzhov Basilica, bouncing a land back to hand, and moves to discard. Sammy's land drop is a swamp, and he swings Muddstah at Mathieu. Matt takes the 3, and Sammy's second main phase has him casting a Springleaf Parade, and he puts 3 into the X, making 3 Shapeshifter tokens. Max plays Otawara, and he casts Compulsive Research. He draws and discards 2, and passes. Matt's just got a mountain. Arja replays his exotic orchard, and pays 2 for a Blind Obedience. Sammy's got a Fabled Passage, and he then swings Muddstah at Arja. Arja takes the hit, and Sammy's second main phase has him casting the first commander of the game with Witherbloom. He passes after it resolves. Max casts a Chrome Host Seed Shark in his main phase, and passes. During the end step, Mathieu casts Prismari Command. He picks the mode to make a treasure, and draws 2 and discards 2, and then moves to his turn. Matt plays out a training center, and then casts a Crackling Drake, drawing as it enters. Arja's got an Eclipse step, and he casts Killian. He then passes, and during the end step, Sammy casts Village Rites, sacrificing a token and drawing 2. Sammy's got a command tower, and then casts Natural Order, sacrificing Muddstah. He goes to find Disciple of Freyalise, and Sammy then sacrifices Witherbloom, drawing 5 cards and gaining 5 life. Sammy then passes turn. Max draws and casts Math Magics to draw 2. He then plays a Balaged Sanctuary, and going to combat, hits Sammy for 2 with a Seed Shark, and passes. Matt just plays a land for turn with a Thundering Falls, surveilling 1, and passing. Arja draws and in his main phase casts a Smothering Tithe, but Mathieu counters it with 3 steps ahead. Arja then passes turn, and Sammy casts Sprout Storm on the end step, but Mathieu counters that with a Flusterstorm. Sammy drops a Wastewood Verge, and then recasts Witherbloom, and passes. Max casts a Shared Roots, going to find an island, and he transforms his Incubator token, and then swings the Phyrexian at Sammy. Sammy takes the hit for 6, and Max passes. Matt draws, playing an island, and then casts Ashling Rekindled. He discards a card and draws a card as the elemental enters, and then swings the Crackling Drake at Sammy. Sammy takes the 4, and Matt passes. Arja's got a Plains, and casts Scriv in his main phase. This lets him put a contract token on the Crackling Drake, and he goads it with Killian. Arja then passes, and during the end step, Sammy sacrifices Witherbloom to tend the pests, and makes 5 pest tokens, and moves to his turn. Sammy's land for turn is a Vernal Fen, and he recasts Witherbloom again, passing. Max draws and starts his turn off by casting a Quandrix. He cascades first, hitting a Farseek, and finds a tropical island which comes in tapped. Quandrix then enters, and going to combat, Max swings the Seed Shark at Sammy and the Phyrexian token at Mathieu. They both take their hits, and Max then plays an untapped breeding pool and passes. Mathieu draws, and pays to transform Aisling in his main phase. He makes 2 mana from flipping it, and this allows him to cast Lorien Revealed, drawing 3. Mathieu then plays a Mystic Sanctuary, which comes in untapped because he has 3 islands, and he puts Flusterstorm on top, and then swings the Drake at Sammy. Sammy takes the 6, and Mathieu passes. During the end step, Arja casts Swift Reconfiguration on Quandrix, goading the Disciple of Freyles with the Killian trigger. Arja draws, and casts Curse of Silence on Mathieu, naming Prismari. He then casts Ariette, and going to combat, swings Screeve at Mathieu and Killian at Max. They both take the hits, and Arja then moves to his end step, with Ariette draining the table for 4 as he passes turn. Sammy's got a Phyrexian Tower, and he casts Rush Rebirth on the Disciple of Freyles. He then sacrifices the Disciple to the Phyrexian Tower, and gets Scoot Swarm. Sammy then continues by casting Awaken the Woods, putting 15 into the X. Max responds to this with Rapid Hybridization and targets the Scoot Swarm, and then cascades into an Ancestral Vision. This is Max drawing 3, the Scoot Swarm getting destroyed, and Sammy then making 15 Forest Dryad tokens, and with nothing else, he passes. Max's turn has an island coming in, and he casts Body of Research. He cascades, hitting Devastation Tide and casts it. He then gets to make his Incubator and a 70/70 Fractal. Max then continues with Sylvan Library, and he then casts the Dawning Archaic and passes. Matt just draws and recasts the Crackling Drake, drawing again. Arja's turn has him recasting Killian, and then the Curse of Silence, naming Prismari again as he enchants it onto Mathieu. He also goads the Fractal with Killian, and he passes. Sammy's got a Forest, and casts Soul Ring. He then follows up with Springleaf Parade, putting 8 into the X, and making 8 Shapeshifter tokens, and passing. Max's land drop is a Sodden Verdure, and he recasts Quandrix. He cascades into Nature's Lore, going to find a forest, and then swings the Dawning Archaic at Sammy and the Fractal at Mathieu. The Dawning Archaic casts Body of Research from his graveyard, and Arja then casts Swift Reconfiguration on the new Fractal. And Mathieu responds with Invert Polarity on the Swift Reconfiguration. He counters it, and then chumps with the Crackling Drake, and Sammy takes the damage from the Archaic. With nothing else, Max passes. Matt draws, and casts Soul Ring. He then plays out Aisling. He follows up with a Mountain, and then casts Hypersonic Dragon, and passes. Arja just draws and recasts Scriv. He puts a contract on the larger Fractal, and goads it thanks to Killian, and passes. Sammy's turn has him recasting Witherbloom, and then passing. During the end step, Max casts Natural Reclamation, targeting the Springbloom Parade. This has him cascading into Rite of Replication, which he casts and targets Witherbloom. But Sammy sacrifices his commander to the Phyrexian Tower and fizzles the spell. The second cascade then hits Foil, which he chooses not to cast, and Max then moves to his turn. Max draws and uses the library but keeps no extra cards. He then swings the goaded Fractal and Quandrix at Mathieu, and the other Fractal and the Dawning Archaic at Sammy. The Dawning Archaic on attack casts Blatant Thievery, and steals Sammy's Soul Ring, Matt's Hypersonic Dragon, and Killian from Arja. Mathieu then chumps with Aisling, and Sammy chumps with 2 Changelings. Max then moves to a second main phase, casting Jin-Gitaxias and passing. Matt draws, plays an island, and casts Prismari. Archer plays a plains and casts a Herald of Amity. He gets unquestioned authority from it, and puts it onto the Herald. And then swings Scriv at Sammy. On attack, he gets a contract, and he puts it onto the other fractal. Sammy then takes the hit for 3, and Archer passes. Sammy draws, plays out Beseiju, and then casts Witherbloom again. He sacrifices a token to the Phyrexian Tower to help cast Rise of the Dark Realms. And Mathieu responds with a Reiterate, and because of Storm, gets to make 2 extra copies of it, all targeting the Rise. After the first Rise resolves, Sammy flashes in an Orcish Bowmaster, and he pings the Stormkiln Artist. Mathieu then draws off a Vashling, and Sammy hits the Artist again. Matt then draws out the Crackling Drake, and Sammy pings Mathieu's face this time. Mathieu then sacrifices the Drake to the Disciple of Freyles, drawing 7 and gaining 7, although Sammy pings him 7 times to stop the life gain. The Drake and Artist then come back in off the second copy of the Rise, and Sammy pings the Scoot Swarm off the Crackling Drake draw. Sammy's copy of Rise of the Dark Realms then resolves, and he gets back his Scoot Swarm. After that, Sammy passes turn, and Max flashes in a Mind's Desire on the end step. The Cascade resolves before Storm, and hits Realm Sketching to copy Orcish Bowmasters. Max's Bowmasters pings the Stormkiln Artist on Mathieu's side, and Max gets 6 copies of Mind's Desire. He then goes to cast Beast Within on the Stormkiln Artist off the Mind's Desire, but Mathieu responds with Flusterstorm to counter it, and since so many spells have been cast this turn, and double Storm, he's able to make 17 copies of it and make 17 treasures from the Artist. Before letting Max's other spell resolve though, Mathieu then casts Delayed Blast Fireball and gets 9 copies of it with Storm. With the last Fireball in the stack, Mathieu then casts Increasing Vengeance from his graveyard and copies it 20 times, dealing more than enough to kill everyone at the table and give Matt the game. Game review time. Hey, did you know that if you give all of your instants and sorceries the most broken mechanic, even on spells that don't normally have it, you'll do really good things? Yeah, that's my kind of feeling on Prismari. I like all of the legendary dragons from this set. I think they're really fun and they've got a really cool niche mechanic for each of them. I will say that I think Prismari, Silverquill, and Witherbloom are probably the strongest 3. Lorehold's very good, and Quandrix is fun, but in terms of sheer power, I think the earlier mentioned 3 have a much stronger impact as soon as they hit the board, whereas Lorehold and Quandrix are more random. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.